which is simply a return to alignment. And by engaging in the law of one, you have connected in with this collective consciousness.
Steve Whetstone, hello. I am listening.
And those
Number
vibrations
Straw Hat Ford King Parade and number
simply
Hoefert.
cease to exist.
Okay.
And by focusing on the perfection of it, instead of the clearing of it, because after
And
the
number
clearing,
Solutions for
humans
Earth
are
Catastrophe
programmed
Cycle
to
2048.
want
I'd like to hear from
understand what
Hucolo
was
evidence of
being
awareness
cleared
of
and what
Earth
was cleared.
Catastrophe Cycle and Solutions.
By trying to understand it, you are keeping it around. But by simply asking yourself, if you're doing self-work, or asking your client, how do you feel? Let them do all the talking. And when you are checking yourself, how do I feel? Just like the simple breathing exercise with the hand on the heart, by jumping into the heart center, things are cleared easily.
Okay. And then when you're kind of
Sorry,
doing,
we have to move on. I'm sorry, we've been almost 30 minutes just with you. So we need to move on. I appreciate it, but we have some more questions. We only have 30 minutes left. So Sean, just hold your questions for the next time Will is here, if you can. If we can, we'll come back to you. The next question is from Susan. Thanks so much.
Hello. I think you've answered a lot of my questions already, but I've been experiencing over the last, I'd say, month and a half, what I believe is my light body activation and some physical changes and life changes. But recently, in a channeling event with a friend, she had a vision of me basically getting like a download or a reconnection with my star-seated angelic presence. And she said it was my direct emanation of my I am presence, or my higher self, or the entity said I can call her my higher self. But she gave me some, she had a scepter with that shown some different colored like key codes. And I was told it was like a reboot or reconnection of my lower self with my higher self, basically. And also around that time, I was told the name and more information about my astral husband, who's a creator being, that I hold an aspect of him as well. So I feel like I'm being prepared to move into more of a leadership role, but using my creativity in an artistic manner. And through my own channeling practice, I've been connecting more with what would be considered mythical beings like unicorns, dragons, tree beings. Last night I channeled Gaia for the first time. So I feel like I'm kind of being pulled in the direction of maybe being kind of an ambassador to them. And I've been asked to paint like a dragon painting for a Mount Shasta event that my friend is having in September, as a raffle item. So I'm just wondering if I'm kind of on track with that I'm supposed to, be in my joy and my creativity, using my artistic abilities, which I haven't used in a while, and getting more into that, but also maybe representing these mythical beings that that are going to be making themselves known again on the earth, and if that's going to be part of my purpose that I'm moving towards.
I think you have answered your own questions. The confirmation will always come from your excitement level of it. And I hear all this excitement about the mythical creatures and the light body activations and embodying your I am presence. And if you feel it so much that this is what you are called to share, or that you feel joy about sharing, then this is a huge benefit to humanity, to the ascension. This is exactly what the ascension is about, is listening to your joy And it does not, we are not having the conversation whether these mythical beings exist or not. We are having the conversation about it brings me joy, and I have visions of these mystical beings, and I see them in my light body, and I see my ability to communicate with them in my light body and in my visions, and I'm creating these things, and I'm creating them out of joy. Someone else will see that, someone else will hear you, and they will return to their joy because of you and because of your example and because of your presence. By you being in your presence and you being in your joy and you sharing your gifts, no matter how magnificent they are. If you're making somebody smile, they are returning to their joy. And now they are going to do something exciting. And they have now the reminder. This is their ascension moment. This is their ability. And you sharing it, and if you derive excitement from sharing that, run with it. Expand yourself. Fill the world with your joy. That is a very, very exciting thing to do. This is exactly why we are here.
Wonderful.
So thank you for sharing.
Yes, and may I ask one more question? I know I've been a Pleiadian in another lifetime, and I have 6 Pleiadian guides that go by the name of Aurora, but I haven't connected too much with them except for during some automatic writing moments. But I'm just wondering if I will be working with them or connecting with them and to a greater degree as I move forward.
Yes, and does it bring out your joy? When they start talking to you, does it bring out your joy? Are the messages that they're coming forth going to bring out your joy and going to excite other people? Meaning that there are many, many, many Pleiadians out there that are willing to channel through you and give you information and share their joy through you. And there are many angelic light beings. There are many creator beings that are also willing to do that. By you noticing those Pleiadians are there, by you listening to them before channeling them, does it excite you? Yes, it does, because guess what? They're there. They were attracted to you by your vibration, and you were attracted to them by their vibration. Whether you channel them in the future, whether you communicate further with them, is all based on your alignment. And it's all based on your excitement. This judging whether or not you channel Aurora or not is a judgment. If you're in your excitement, it does not matter whether you're channeling Aurora, channeling a light being, or channeling the awesomeness that's in your heart center. It does not matter. Understand?
Yes, yes, beautifully said. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, Kat has a question. Go ahead, Kat.
Yes, hello.
There you go.
Hello.
How are you?
Most excellent. How are you?
Most excellent, the same. Most, but most it's a debate. In the Toltec masteries, it is said that we, the people, we are the dream of the creator. and us humans, let's say, if humans stop to dream, we become we are more in our minds, and we become more mental. Do you have any insights regarding the art of dreaming?
Yes. So in this physicality, in this 3D physicality, as humans, when you first incarnated in your mother's womb, you were a tremendous light being. Through the conversations and the vibrations that you shared starting in this physicality and what others have told you was this 3D reality, you then were programmed and programmed and programmed. And then when you came out of the womb, you were programmed even more, and you were programmed with language. This idea of a dream is a human, in the human mind, this idea of a dream carries much less resistance than this belief system that's put down in the conscious mind of the human being. The human was trained to believe that this 3D reality is all that is. This is the physicality. But the dream, you were taught to dream. And when you actually dream, you are not listening to the external influences. There are some times that humans dream with these external influences. But this idea of a dream allows the human mind to accept more of that information as a reality. When one dreams, this information from the collective consciousness starts to influence the dream. Everything is energy. So you having the idea that you're living in your conscious mind in this 3D reality where everything is physical, nothing is actually touching. There are molecules that are bonding based on electrons and energy. And this information, this dream, allows that information to come forth and gives you the idea that you can do anything. And this dream of God, because we are all one. It is your dream as well as God's dream. Because you are the same. Because we are all one. And when you dream in this idea of separation, you are contributing to all of us, to the one of us. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I like your energy, and I was actually more wanting how to ride. I know that dreaming, it's the art of dreaming. It's riding the energies of God, and you can do that only through like dreaming. But next step, it's like dreaming, conscious dreaming. And while I do my my daily work stuff when it's necessary, when I feel I need it, I there's one part of me that it's doing the let's say mindfulness. It's called stalking. stalking of the self. But the other part of the dreaming, it's when I feel, one clue that I have is that when I start to think about wanting to dream, I feel still, I'm afraid to engage in letting go even more, if I can say so.
That is the key right there.
Yeah, now I see it, yeah.
Because the dream is the resistance-free idea that anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trained that, oh no, don't dream too hard, or good to dream, but in reality, that can't be done.
Yeah. I just see it now, and your observation is very to point. Yeah, very good.
If you can look at your fear and simply acknowledge it as fear, yes, that is fear, and simply return to the dream. Are you more joyful in your fear, or are you more joyful in your dream?
That's another good point. I learned from my work that I have to be less sensitive to fear and don't care about the fear and do my work. But I get to a point where I have enough power to do my work even more, let's say, effective. Yet as you say now, I still am impervious to feeling it. I don't care about feeling it. I just do my work. But I think it's an important part to, as you say, to feel it. Just like really feel small things, feel how it feels. Those many types of fears. Yeah, that's good one.
You made an interesting point that when you do your work, you simply do your work. There's nothing wrong with simply doing your work, because you have a knowing about this work, that when you do it, it gets done, and there's an exchange of energy. And one doesn't necessarily have to feel it. When you're in the state of doing, you are singly focused, which is a good thing, because you're not overthinking it. You're simply doing it. When you go to the store and you purchase something, you exchange money and you get goods. It's a knowing, and it happens. And you don't necessarily second guess that interaction. And when you do your work, there are some athletes on your planet that they claim that they were just in the zone. And when you watch them do their thing, they are simply amazing to watch. They're in a knowing state. Whether they're in a feeling state or not, they simply know that this is the action that needs to happen now, and they do it. That's it. Like your Michael Jordan. When he received the basketball, he wanted that basketball. He wanted it to be in the hoop. He was in touch with his intention. He was in touch with putting that ball in the hoop. He was in the zone. Simply by doing your work and allowing it to happen is a good thing. But if one's work is pruning the roses and one wants to feel the energy of the roses and ascertain the state of each of the plants to make sure that they have their optimal nutrition. That is also a good thing. You are sending a core vibration no matter what you are doing. So when you are doing your work, you are sending the vibration to get the work done. And if you overthink it or overfeel it, are you actually interfering with the work getting done? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I'm a heavy thinker, and I my only solution is to oversmart myself. That was the only, be smarter than I was before. Because when you get into the thinking mode, I was never ending with doing something.
It depends what you're doing, whether it needs to be thought out or whether it needs to be applied.
Yeah, that applying thing was never done. Like figuring things out, this comes from this, and like you said before, humans like to think, and then it's overthinking and overthinking. Yeah.
Are there any more questions?
I appreciate your conversation, and thank you very much.
As do I. Thank you.
Thank you.
There is one last question from the Hucolo chat, and I'll read it and you can answer it. It's from Steve Whetstone. He says, what percent, and he has some assumptions. He's following some different channels. So he's talking about a catastrophe coming in 2048. So he says, what percent of the human population on Earth will likely ascend or survive or other for the Earth catastrophe cycle dangers to 3D life on or before the year 2048?
There are many paths to what could be called a catastrophe. There are many major catastrophes that are in the timelines coming forward. Some of them are caused by man, and some of them are caused by simply the planet. And some are a combination of a volcano is going to be the volatility of a volcano. Tsunamis and hurricanes that happen are going to happen. That is the nature of your planet. And some may be enhanced and some may be reduced. But those are that far in the future, and that focused on what that information is. No matter what I say today, are you going to pay attention to it and then compare it in 2048? Oh, Alona was exactly right back in 2021. What does it matter? What matters is, what can you do to be in your joy? What can you do if your joy is trying to avert the man-made disasters that are going to come in the future? What can you do? Is it on your joyful to-do list? And what are those ideas that can come forth from being in your heart space as to how to solve those potential problems? And then can you make an outline? Can you add some flesh to that outline? What kind of plan can you then start talking about it? This is how you start garnering energy, gathering energy for an idea for co-creation. And then when you start talking about it, more people will start talking about it, and then you'll start gathering in groups. And then this idea will really get fleshed out. Maybe you're going to become a public speaker. from these ideas. How do you stop the next pandemic? How do you stop the warfare? How do you stop this and that? Global warming. How do you stop the environmental changes? Whatever it is that's in your alignment, that's in your joy. If you feel that it is something that you must do, do it. If you're going to trudge forward and hate every minute of it, will it get done? Yes. What is the vibration you are adding to the collective while you're doing that? Simply by being in your heart center and by you living your joy is the greatest benefit to humanity. Not turning a blind eye to the things that are happening, to the genocides that are happening. By simply turning a blind eye, those things will continue to happen. But by you being in your heart center, if it's in your joy to speak up about it, then speak up about it. But by you focusing on your heart and your joy and allowing that vibration to fill your world and to fill your local collective consciousness, the rest in your local collective consciousness will return to that. And then there will be a vibration that no one can ignore, that everyone must ascend to. And yes, there are these ideas that when one ascends to the 5D, makes that jump, that these individuals left in the 3D will not have a fulfilling life, will not have an expansive existence. Those individuals have already chosen what they wish to do and whether they wish to ascend or not. And the individuals who incarnated to ascend to the 5D, to help the vibration, to help make it easier for others to make the jump, to ascend, it is so. Your heart will tell you what your role is. Your heart will tell you whether it's time to speak up. Your heart will tell you whether it's your turn to sign a petition, to join a political party, to run for office, to become a teacher, to become a healer, whatever it is that is your joy. That's the important part. Does that make sense?
I believe so. Thank you so very much. And we are really at the top of the hour. So I want to thank you so very much for being here. There was very beautiful comments about your calm voice and how everyone was able to just listen and enjoy. And I'm just so thankful for you to be here, and we'd like you to come back as soon as possible. So thank you so very much for your sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with us.
Absolutely my pleasure. Hello.
Hello. Perfect. Thank you so much. So
Welcome.
why don't you, before we go, why don't you let people know how to get in touch with you? I put your contact information in the description, but maybe just give a description of the upcoming retreat you're having and how people can reach you for private sessions if you give them, and any other things that you may be offering.
Yes. So for a private session, email will@reikiwithwill.com. And again, Mount Shasta for the Lion's Gate, 4 days, Saturday, August 7th through Tuesday, August 10th. There's a new moon, there's the Lion's Gate, there's Mount Shasta, violet flame ignition, ion presence activation, light language activations, DNA infusions, golden ray illumination, chakra clearings and activations, alignments. It's just a magnificent time and many channelings, channeling Archangel Zadkiel, Ascended Master Saint Germain, Elohim, Gaia. Many Lyrans want to channel and talk about the Lion's Gate and the energies and assimilating the energies. If you want more information about that, retreats at aquarianfire.com.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And for everyone, we'll have Jim next week. We'll be back with Jim. And yeah, let's end with some blessings. Who was it that wanted to do a blessing at the end? Angie does. Anyone else? And Angie has some announcements. Go ahead, Angie, do your announcements first.
Will, I just wanted to, if people want to get in touch with you, what is the address?
Will at reikiwithwill.com.
Okay. All right. So in regards to our upcoming classes, we have Galactic Energy Healing Teacher Course, White Magic 2, Stones and Rocks, understanding and you know, how they work with us, and channeling. If you're interested in any of those classes, at hucolo.org.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. Who was it that wanted to do some blessings? I think Angie, did you?
Sure, I'll close with the blessing.
Susan wanted to do one, I think. And anyone else? Okay, we'll do Will. We'll do Angie, Susan, Will. Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you.
Ua ni atu kua ka ai sa suno ai chi. Ho no ai te kiniawa ata ka ia. Ho no ai e te nia te kishia ia te kua a. No hai ata ke na oa te ki ia ni ata ku u. Ia sani ata ku oa. Ia no ko ara. Namaste.
Tia soko te koia ia sika te kaia toia ia roi e siki te kia he saka te koia I te kia he soko te koia tia te koia te kia I o I siki te kaia hoia I te kia soko te koia kia soko I te kia he soko I te kia o I sika te koia te kaia te koia siki te kia soko te koia ia siko te kia. Blessings.
Blessings. Go ahead, Will, whenever you're ready. I think he's muted.
I am muted.
Okay.
Hanahe he aharari. Nahahati arhakanahahai. Ai he haraharuka. Niha hahanahe hata. Kohora harata wahanani. Ahahaya nahare harakai. Nohuka arhanahata. Shaha hasa aki hai hati. Konoro horaya ta'a. Nahasa akahayecha arati tiara. Kanahar hartkuhuati. Kuchina yayakahanana niartuku. Taharahana hayaka. Chochokohorahanahata.
Thank you so very much. All right, so everyone, we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. And we'll be back with Jim. And thank you to everyone in the YouTube chat, to everyone in the room. And please like and subscribe if you can. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much. I'm going to turn it off if I can figure out how to do this. All right.